Would you like to move that House File 3798B be before the committee? And
Yes.
The intention is to lay the bill over.
Yeah, with
members.
intention to lay the bill over, correct.
Yep. Yes. So thank you. To your bill, Representative Vernig.
If you would indulge me, I do have an oral amendment. I'd like to amend line 5.21 so that the date reflects 2026 instead of 2025.
Okay, I'll give members a second just to get
Yep,
their
absolutely.
bills in order, including myself. Okay, so our members, this does seem to be a technical amendment. It just updates a year. Co-Chair Quam, is that amenable to you? The bill is being laid over, but also, okay, I'm seeing agreement. Representative Vernig moves an oral amendment to change it. Would you like to restate it one more time?
Yes, that line 5.21, the date says 2026 instead of 2025.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion to the oral amendment? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendment is adopted. To your bill as amended, Representative Vernig.
Yes, thank you. House File 3798 is a bill brought forth by my school board members that I represent and the Minnesota School Board Association. The bill would amend ballot language around capital project and operating levy referendums. Specifically, it would eliminate the text, "By voting yes on this ballot question, you are voting for a property tax increase." This ballot language is a bit one-sided, and it doesn't inform voters that if you vote no, X, Y, and Z may happen, such as close schools, cut bus routes, increase class sizes. This bill removes the language so that people can rely on the information that they receive in advance of voting regarding the impact of the referendum. Districts are still required to notify taxpayers of the referendum by mail before the election and are still required to state the maximum amount of the increased revenue per adjusted pupil unit and designate the number of years the referendum applies. Districts still provide tax impact notices, detailed informational mailings, tax calculators, and property-specific estimates. This change would bring the ballot into a neutral state. I do have an online testifier and technical support remote, if necessary.
Okay, thank you. So the testifier who signed up is online. It is Kim McLaughlin. Kim McLaughlin, please identify yourself and proceed with your testimony.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair and members of the House Election Finance and Government Operations Committee, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Kim McLaughlin, and I'm the treasurer of the Hibbing School Board. And I am here today in support of House File 3798 and to uplift the voices of public schools across the state of Minnesota. Voters deserve to understand how a voter-approved referendum impacts their pocketbooks. I believe in transparency, and just as strongly, I believe in accuracy. And having said that, I believe that transparency without accuracy can be misleading to voters. So the current ballot requirement stating, by voting yes on this ballot question, you are voting for a property tax increase, sounds pretty straightforward. But in practice, it really oversimplifies something that is far more complex. In Hibbing, heading into the 25-26 school year, our district faced a $2.6 million shortfall, resulting in the elimination of 34 positions. Our annual operating budget is about $45 million, and at that time, we had a levy that was falling off. So in an attempt to stabilize our budget, we brought two levy questions to the voters on one ballot. One was an operating levy and one was a capital levy. And each of those impacts voters differently depending upon the property classification. So in preparation for the referendum, our district provided individualized tax calculators, required notices to ensure voters had accurate, personalized information. But when voters entered the booth, all of that nuance disappeared, and it was really replaced by a very lengthy, complicated question and one generalized sentence. By voting yes on this ballot question, you're voting for a property tax increase. After the election, I had property owners who contacted me, and they had understood their personalized estimates. But at that very moment, when they went in to vote, uncertainty came across them and they really were confused in casting their ballot. So our questions both failed, and now our district faces another $2 million in cuts. So my testimony here today is not about persuading voters how to vote. It's making sure voters are not presented with information that is incomplete or overly broad at that very moment when they're casting their vote and making a civic decision that affects young people's futures. A one-size-fits-all sentence does not reflect how levy impacts actually work in Minnesota. And in my opinion, House File 3798 does not remove transparency. Districts will still be required to provide the required notices, individualized calculators, and truth in taxation statements. What the bill removes is a sentence that can unintentionally mischaracterize the real tax impacts for everyday people. And as a school board member, it's my responsibility to steward public trust, to ensure voters have information that's complete, clear, and accurate. So long-term, I believe the bigger solution is to fix our K-Fund funding system so districts like ours don't have to rely on repeated local referendums just to maintain services. But until that work is done, I believe we owe Minnesotans ballots that reflect accurate information. Therefore, I believe House File 3798 moves us in that direction. So today, I thank you for your time and your commitment to Minnesotans and Minnesota students and communities across the state. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. I understand there's also a remote testifier who's available for questions. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak to this bill? Okay. Seeing none, member discussion. Representative Coulter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Representative Vernig, for bringing this bill forward. I've always been a little bit frustrated with this language, not because I don't think the public can be trusted to make a judgment on what their tax dollars should or should not be used for, but a levy increase, let alone maintaining an existing levy, is not even a guarantee of a property tax increase. If your property value goes down enough, even if you vote for the levy, it's not a guarantee that your property taxes are gonna go up. And so to me, it is just, it's not only misleading, it can be really inaccurate information. So I think this really just gets at making sure that what we're saying on the ballot is accurate. Thank you.
Thank you. Co-Chair Quam?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a clarification, if property values are going down, the rate at which it'll be per dollar of property value would go up because school referendums and stuff are on a tax base. And unless your house goes down because you devalued it by doing something that made it not attractive for purchase. But basically, if property taxes move at a general rate up, so you could have everybody's property values went up 10%, wouldn't increase the school levy funds being taken from you because they're levying for X amount of dollars, and that's spread across that property base. So I think you're mistaken your general assumption, because there's difference between mill rates set by other governmental entities. So if property values go up, you can keep the mill rate the exact same amount and get more money. But in schools, it's different on these referendums.
Thank you. Any additional member discussion? Representative McDonald, way to make an appearance.
Well, it is almost St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Chair, Representative Vernig, I'm not sure how to vote on this personally. I think it's possibly a good idea, and it's possibly a good idea to keep it there, possibly a good idea to take it out. As Thomas Jefferson said, educate and inform, an educated and informative whole mass of the people. They are the only sure reliance for preservation of our liberty. So we are required to be an educated mass of people to know what's happening. So if people are not aware that their property tax will increase by voting for a levy, then they will get what they deserve. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe when they get their property tax the following year and they realize, my goodness, it went up. They should have paid attention to local politics, you know, especially school elections and referendums. So in a way, like like Benjamin Franklin said when they finished the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights, or actually the Bill of Rights, a reporter asked Benjamin Franklin, well, what did we give you? And Benjamin Franklin said, we gave them a republic if they will keep it. So it is up to us voters to be educated on the issues, isn't it? So I'm not sure how to vote on this, because I think the people will get what they deserve. If they don't know it's a tax increase by voting for a referendum, a levy increase, then they should get what they deserve. That's my thoughts on this.
Chair McDonald, we are laying the bill over, so you have more time to think about how you will vote on this.
And furthermore, Mr. Chair, 7 years ago, okay, that's enough. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any additional member discussion? Representative Vernig, to that point?
Yeah, I would just like to note that the board actually has to mail taxpayers a notice at least 15 days, but not more than 45 days beforehand. So every taxpayer should get a notice from their district via the mail. I would hope that they would read it and understand its implications. And then just to Chair Quam's point, if you have a growing population and more homes are in there, then that can bring down the cost. So other than that, no.
Any additional member discussion? All right, seeing none, any closing remarks, Representative Vernig?
No, I would just like to renew my motion that House File 3798 as amended is laid over for possible inclusion. I think this would help provide clarity on referendum questions by focusing on the ballot language, and thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you for your presenting your bill. With that, the bill as amended is laid over.